So this video will teach you how to use the imperfect subjunctive when we use it with if clauses in Spanish. So what do we do to form the subjunctive or the imperfect subjunctive to start with? Remember that subjunctive is a mood, so it's not really a tense, and this one is part of this is the imperfect of that particular mood. So if we have a look at the verbs, we've got two endings. You've got AR endings and ER and IR endings. Now there's two different endings for each ending of verbs, and it doesn't matter which one you use. You just use the one that you think is easiest to remember. However, you will need to recognize both of them because the Spanish use both of them. I quite like using the one with the S's in it, but I know when I'm doing my sixth formers, they never like that. They like using the ones with the R's in it, but you can choose. Again, you need to make sure that you learn the other one. So what do? We take the preterite and then we take the they form in the preterite and then we remove the aron or the eron off the end. And the reason we do that is it gives us most of the irregulars, and then we put the endings on down here. Now I haven't put any irregulars on here, but if you look at your notes, you'll be able to find the irregulars, but this gives you the basics. Okay, so in English we have two sorts of if clauses. We've got the ones where we have if I have the money I will, which is a present followed by the future. So the present in this clause and the future in this clause. And it's exactly the same in Spanish. We would do present in the same way after the if in Spanish, and future tense in Spanish as well in the second clause. But then we've got these ones where it's if I had the money I would, and in this case this is when we use imperfect subjunctive. So in the first clause here, the had is the imperfect subjunctive, and then the would, which is the conditional tense in Spanish, in the second one. Right, so had is a past tense in English and would a conditional tense, but in Spanish it would be imperfect subjunctive. So just go through that again. So if plus the imperfect subjunctive plus conditional. Now you might have it where you have a conditional first and then an if, and then it's followed by the imperfect subjunctive, especially if you're doing A level, and particularly if you're doing translations for A level. That's what they tend to try and trick you with. So it could be I would buy a car, for example, if I had the money. So the first clause would be in the conditional, we'd have the if in the middle, and the last one would be the imperfect subjunctive. So just watch out for those in translations, but also if you want to put them together yourself. So here's an example. Si tuviera el dinero, compraría. If I had the money, I would buy un coche, a car, for example. Okay. Just to remind you of how to do the conditional. So the conditional is we take the infinitive ending in AR, ER, IR, and then add these endings, the appropriate endings. There are irregulars, but again, go back to your notes if you're not sure how they work. Okay, so I've just said that, infinitives plus these endings. Let's move on. Right, so try these out, see if you can do these ones. If I could, I would go to Spain. If we played tennis, we would be in better shape. If I found some money, I would give it to the police. I'd give the money to the police. If he studied more, he would get good grades. Right, okay, pause it so you can have a go. Even if you can only do the imperfect subjunctive part first and not the conditional, don't worry, you can come back to these at another time and try them out. So do the bit that you think you need to do most. If you can do all of it, great. I thought there was a fifth one, sorry. Okay. Right, the answers. So, si pudiera, if I could, iría a España. Pudiera is the imperfect subjunctive for poder, to be able to. 2. Si jugáramos al tenis, estaríamos en mejor forma. Si jugáramos in the we form, imperfect subjunctive. Estaríamos conditional. Si encontrara dinero, lo daría a la policía. Actually, I've put I will give it to the police here, but I've put the money here, so I've used a direct object pronoun here. You can have a look at that online as well. Si estudiara más, sacaría buenas notas. If he studied more, he would get better notes, better grades rather. Remember, sacar buenas notas is an idiomatic phrase in Spanish. And the last one, si comieran más fruta, estarían más sanos. Okay, rewind it back if you're not sure, and then learn the endings.